This continues to be a pandemic of the unvaccinated. So we got to make more progress. And for patients who still haven't gotten your kids vaccinated, please get them vaccinated. Look out for their interest here. It's the best way to protect them. And for parents with kids too young to be vaccinated, surround your kids with people who are vaccinated. And make sure you're masking in public so you don't get COVID and give it to your kids.
All right, so the unity message was nonsense. Everyone come together. Biden is going to unify a divided country. And then he pops this one on us, which isn't surprising in the least bit. Make sure you segregate your kids from anyone who is unvaccinated, even though regardless of vaccination status, anyone can spread COVID to your kid, and also you don't really need to worry about it anyway, because COVID complications among children is vanishingly small. We're talking about microscopic levels that don't even register on the graph. So instead of unity, this is, and I am not using hyperbole, this is pure divisive hysteria meant to further divide people and to convince people that segregation based on vaccine status is a good and healthy thing. It's not, and it's definitely not in terms of what you are teaching kids. Is this what we're doing now? We're going to teach kids to not only judge, but to be absolutely terrified of anyone based on their vaccine status. You're doing a serious number on the mental health and stability of future generations. And not for nothing, it's been shown clearly that obese people who get COVID have a much higher viral load than leaner people, and are therefore significantly more contagious than others. Are you going to start telling kids to avoid overweight people? I mean, the trend is to become hysterical and have the most unhealthy relationship with risk you can possibly muster up, so why not have that be your message? But other than that, I love some of the reactions to this. We are still getting people saying, well, if you're not vaccinated, fine, but stop putting us at risk by being around us, which is weird, because if you are vaccinated, what are you worried about? Why do you care? You can catch it regardless of who you're around, but the vaccines do make COVID not much of an issue for you, so why do you care? Well, it's obvious why they care. This has nothing to do with health or their health. It has to do with tribalism now. That much is crystal clear. It's a tribalistic impulse to segregate from those who refuse to bend the knee. Now, whether you're vaccinated or not, the extremely high probability is that COVID causes no real issues for you. I mean, most people still don't even show symptoms, regardless of vaccination status. But this is what happens when the bar for what makes you become hysterical is set under the ground. I do not mean to exaggerate one bit when I say that these people have lost their minds. They're completely unhinged. Other than that, this is weird. Biden says a flat-out lie here when he says that this continues to be a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Just simply not true. COVID is spreading like wildfire among the vaccinated. This is pure incoherence on the part of Biden and the people who think and say absurd things like this. Fact of the matter is that the majority of people are vaccinated. If you remember, back a few months ago, the director of the CDC, who Rachel Maddow then went on to parrot, said that you cannot be a carrier of COVID if you get the vaccine. If you get the vaccine, you are a brick wall to COVID. The promise of the vaccines was once we hit a certain point of the vaccinated rate, around 70%, then the pandemic would end. Well, I know around December 15th, we were at about 61.5% of the population was fully vaccinated in the U.S., so it's probably a little bit slightly higher now. Probably not 70% though. But we also have the people who had COVID, who got it and have natural immunity. As much as I know we like to ignore that. But wouldn't we be close enough that it would at least be slowing down to an astronomical degree? Well, it's not. Cases are sky high. So dispense with the, stop the spread, get the vax, and stay away from the unvaccinated rhetoric. It's needlessly, horrifyingly divisive. And hell, Denmark actually just came out with their highest single-day number of the pandemic as far as cases are concerned. I mean, Denmark was praised for having a 98% vaccination rate among adults, and the experts said that they pretty much won the fight against COVID and they won't see a surge now. Well, that did not age well. Again, another promise that they were just dead wrong about. But again, the vaccine still does it does have a good track record of keeping you out of the hospital. And if you otherwise would have had some severe symptoms, you might not if you're vaccinated. So get it and get on with your life, or don't get it and get on with your life. Because if you don't get it, you'll probably, by the numbers, be just fine too. Especially, as we all know, especially if you take care of yourself, eat well, get physically active, and maintain a healthy weight, etc., etc. And also, not for nothing, as I mentioned before, you get healthier, you become less contagious too. I feel like it's a little bit important for me to just mention again the hypocrisy that if you're obese, you're technically speaking, as studies indicate, you're technically speaking more dangerous than someone who's lean. You have a higher viral load, you can spread it more easily. But we don't say anything about that, which is good, because I don't think we need another group who's villainized and demonized in this country. But you know what? Biden just can't seem to help himself, and the people who support him can't seem to help themselves either. But that's all for now. Like, subscribe, share the video. It's extremely appreciated, and you take it easy.